Awesome. So today what we have here is the new standalone version of Blue Cat Audio's Patchworks. Like the old version, it does everything. It hosts plugins and VSTs and audio units. Only this one is standalone, so you can actually create patches and effects and even create your own synth patches, like how I have 3 parallel synths going on. And the cool thing about that is now you can set up and save your presets and settings and load them up into Pro Tools or Logic or whatever DAW you use, and it has all your settings, your plugins, your parameters all saved. And it's a great way of just like messing around with your synths while you don't have to open up a DAW, you don't have to like focus about like, oh, making sure you're patching things in right, you just plug in and play. Right? So, you know, as always, as it has been, it's easy, you just load it up. So let's say we go just load VST, just go in here, and I just want to do the Fab Filter Twin, boom. And it should automatically actually read my synth. So as you can see right here, you can see it's playing the audio back, and it's reading this output of my synth. And since it's in parallel, all you have to do if you ever want to like turn them off is you can just either turn the power button off, or you can even solo it, phase flip, do anything you want. Again, you also have control of averaging the volume, summing it up. You can make it bigger, smaller. You can take away your meters. You can hide the little control mapped. You can, you know, make the GUI invisible or not, power all down, and take away or add as many columns as you want. So now let's move on to Pro Tools here. Actually, real quick before I forgot. So this whole setting that I have right here is saved as a patch called Synth Stuff, just because it was just a bunch of random synths, right? So if I go into Pro Tools and I open up any instance of Patchworks, because I saved it in the standalone, now I have one that says Synth Stuff. And like the standalone version, it comes out exactly how it comes out exactly the same in Pro Tools. So with all the plugins and everything set up just the way I left them, and it'll play back just like how I set it up. Just close this. So another really cool plugin that we have here is the Blue Cat Audio MB7 Mixer. It's basically the multi-band version of Patchworks, where you can have up to 7 bands and different slopes from 6 dB octave slopes to 96 dB octave slopes. Excuse me. And you can have plugins, audio units, and VSTs loaded up into each individual band, which is great for if you want to just do some distortion on the low end, like I have on this mix. I have a little bit of tube saturation going on to give it a little bit of grit. And then on the upper mid-range where the vocal is, I'm kind of just doing really, really gentle saturation with Saturn. It's in the other screen, so let me just grab it real quick. Just really, really gently, not driving it at all. And then I have a bunch of little multi-band compressors going on everywhere. When you go down to the fader section, you actually add fader control, spread control, so you can set your the stereo width of whatever band you want. If you want the high end to be a little bit wider and the low end to be a little bit more centered and mono, you can do that with the stereo width. A pan control, which lets you control the left and right panning of that individual frequency, which is great for cool effects and stuff. Another great tool is this link control and this link reversal control. When you hit on the link control, it links any parameter. When you hit the R on it, it automatically makes that parameter do the reverse. So when I'm cutting here, I'm boosting on these two, and then when I'm boosting, it cuts on the other two. And these all stay relative to their original positions. So if I ever boost one by 12, and then the maximum is 12, and this one's already here. In fact, let me show you. So if I set this to plus 12, and this to 0, I link them. If I boost this up to 12, this one automatically becomes 24. So it stays in its relative position, so you don't lose whatever setting you actually had beforehand if you want to go back to the original setting. Also, you have this great grouping function, which you can localize it and keep it within that plugin. So you can do that with anything from the faders. So now I have all these 3 localized, then move together. But you can also globalize it, which means that it'll go into another instance of a plugin. So let's say I set up this fader as global 1, I'm gonna open up a new instance of MB7. And that should be in my other screen. Right here. And let's say I globalize this one to 1. Let's make this a little bigger so it's easier to see. We should see right here that there's 2 faders, right? They both say global 1. So they will actually both move together. You see all the gain. If I set them back to 12, you should see a lot smoother. So. And this actually works with any band and function. So if I group this one to global 1, it too will actually go with the faders. And this works with any of the parameters. So if I globalize this one and make it reversed, it would pan and reverse exactly the same thing with the opposite plugin. So it's a really great way of having control over every single plugin, and you could even do crazy effects, or even do like, if you have voiceover work going on where you have different channels and you have MB7 going on, and you want, while one speaker comes up, you bring them up and it makes the other speakers go down. It's really great for audio restoration, for cleaning stuff up, for adding like punch and like energy to your mix, and even just for fun, for sound design work. And that's about it for the MB7 and the Blue Cat Audio Patchworks.